this topic is related to integration love story. And since we're working with the integration, and everyone in this room and listeners probably, they all have, and you definitely have, a love story where that love sparked. Like, this was it for me. This was the customer. This was the solution. So, what's your integration love story?
So it's actually very early on in my career. So I'd been doing bits and pieces around integration, and I'd as a result of working for the organisation I was working, talking about around SOAP and all those sorts of things, and using BizTalk. As part of that organisation, I worked for a big grocery store in the UK, who I won't name. They were looking to find a solution, right, to fresh produce. Because fresh produce comes in, it gets tested, and it takes the buying managers 3 months to get the data, because it's all handwritten and somebody has to transpose it into a database and so on and so forth. Really, really tricky stuff. Actually, not surprisingly not tricky, right? So they came up with an idea of using these ruggedized Palm Pilots that had standard forms that the person could fill in. They dock it, it would download, it would FTP it to a location, and there'd be a bunch of smarts off the back of it. That was in 2002. BizTalk 2000 come out, and was a bunch of tools that kind of did sort of work together, but not really very well. 2002 came out, it was a bit better. 2004 came out a little bit after that, right? But I got the idea of using BizTalk into this particular organization, just as a trial, just kind of almost like a POC, right? So that was kind of one of those things that just evolved from that point in my career. 2 years later, when I went to a bank to work there, and 2004 came out, BizTalk 2004 came out, a much more robust product. I remember spending time just creating integrations in and out of their mainframe, right? So it was a Unisys mainframe. And it was something that was really, 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 really hard before then. As in developers being chucked at this thing for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and years to try and solve what was essentially a pretty simple problem. Because we had the kind of the nascent version of host integration server in those days as well. And it just worked. It just worked. Worked is a relative term, obviously, but it just worked, right? And you kind of go, that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And then as time moved on with BizTalk, and it's funny, so Clemens Vastas, the architect for the messaging team, he posted something on LinkedIn a couple of days ago around the Azure Relay. Yeah. And I said to him, I commented on his message, on his post, about the fact that, hang on, that looks to me like, wasn't that what the Internet Service Bus was? Which is this ability to tunnel through, right, from one place to another place. Yeah. And it is. It's the same process, same product, right? That's 10 years old. I think it was 10 years old, right? And you kind of go, that is still one of the core things in the integration suite at Microsoft, because it's such a useful product. So I had that experience from when BizTalk started, and then having that really solvable problem that had been almost an intangible problem beforehand. Yeah. And then fast forward a little bit more on that ability to then use a new technology, to not just go inside my own domain, but actually reach out and go elsewhere by just having this thing on both sides and tunneling through. Those two things just sparked so much like knowledge and love in my head, which is weird. I don't tell that story down the pub with my friends because they're not.
That's great that we got this.
I tend to walk out.
I think that it requires a bit of a
specific atmosphere.
A specific atmosphere.
Yeah, it requires the right audience, right? So, but it is one of those things, and as you say, we all have those stories, right? And I'm always fascinated by what gets people's juices flowing when they're interested in things. Because honestly, and that's why it's a great question, Robin, by the way, because actually, it's that thing that keeps us coming back, right? It's that thing that makes us invest our time to learn more stuff. We all need that aha moment, that eureka moment where we go, I just get that now. And I think integration is, because it's between everything, it's such a great area to have that aha moment in.
Yeah. And as you said, I mean, what I hear and what I can definitely like connect with is like it just works, and it's such
Yeah.
a great feeling, and
Yes,
it's like
exactly.
it shows
just
up here, and
works.
then this just works. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to what I was saying earlier on about durable messaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you understand asynchronicity and the importance of solving these really complex distributed transaction problems between multiple systems, and how you manage that, and how you roll back and do various other things, and compensate when you don't have idempotency, and all of those big intransigent problems that you get with distributed transactions and large scale integration. Queues are at the forefront of all of that stuff, right? And queues have been around forever. I mean, they're a standard solution to problems that goes back 40 or 50 years, and they're still so relevant now. It's just an amazing story.
Yeah, it's great, and yeah, thanks for that, and thanks for the integration love story.
Yes, that was an amazing.
Thank you.